Welcome to today's video, Deuteronomy 33 verse 27 explained. The eternal God is thy refuge, and underneath are the everlasting arms, and he shall thrust out the enemy from before thee, and shall say, Destroy them. This verse is part of the final blessing that Moses gives to the people of Israel before his death. It is a message of encouragement and comfort, assuring God's people of his protection and unchanging support. Let's break it down so we can fully understand the depth of what is being promised here. The verse begins by calling God eternal. This means God has no beginning and no end. He exists outside of time, and because of that, he is never caught off guard or surprised. When Moses says the eternal God is your refuge, he is saying that God himself is a safe place, a shelter that cannot be shaken or destroyed. Unlike human protection, which may fail, God's shelter is always secure. When life becomes uncertain or dangerous, we can find true safety in God because he never changes and his power never fades. Then Moses says, underneath are the everlasting arms. This is a picture of God's continual support. It's like a loving parent holding their child in strong, gentle arms. No matter how far we fall or how difficult life becomes, God's arms are always there to catch us and hold us up. His support never ends because his arms are everlasting. There is no bottom to God's strength and care. He is always there, holding, supporting, and carrying his people through every trial. The next part of the verse says, He shall thrust out the enemy from before thee. This is a promise that God himself will fight for his people. The Israelites were often surrounded by enemies, and this assurance would have been deeply comforting. God is not distant or uninvolved. He actively goes before his people and clears the path ahead. When we face challenges or opposition in our lives, we can trust that God is already at work, removing obstacles and fighting battles on our behalf. Finally, the verse says, and shall say, Destroy them. This means that God commands victory over the enemies of his people. The enemies here can be literal enemies as Israel faced, but in a spiritual sense, they can also be the challenges, fears, or sins that stand in our way. God has the authority and power to remove anything that threatens his children. His word is final, and when he says destroy them, there is nothing that can withstand his command. Altogether, Deuteronomy 33 verse 27 gives a powerful image of God's protection, support, and victory for his people. He is our eternal refuge, always ready to shelter us. His everlasting arms are underneath us, ensuring that we are never alone or unsupported. And he is actively fighting for us, driving out anything that would harm us and commanding victory over every obstacle. As we face the uncertainties and battles of life, this verse is a reminder to trust in God's unchanging character and his unfailing care. No matter what comes our way, the eternal God is our refuge, and his everlasting arms are holding us safe.